Welcome back to the Road to National series. In today's episode, I'm going to take you through a lower max workout. So my variation for this week was a 12-inch box squat. It's really a tiny bit taller because I bought a little pad to put on top, as you can see, just to make it more comfortable so that I'm not thinking about that and just focusing on the squat, but it makes it like 12.5 inches or something. So my previous best on this was 190 kilos, but since I did that, I've hit 190 kilos with additional band tension as well. So I knew I should be strong enough at least to hit 200 kilos here. Now, it was a hot day and my stomach had not been feeling great. So because of that, I just decided to be sensible and go for 200 kilos, see how it moved and maybe go up from there. So 200 moved really smoothly here. However, I did have a bit of a crisis on the way up and I noticed it almost straight away. Many lifters have suffered from this before. I was not one of them, but my bad stomach resulted in a slight accident. So anyway, I had to go inside, clean myself up and come back in like 20 minutes. It wasn't a big issue, but I mean, the entire point of this series is to document everything that happens within my training. I don't try and like butter anything up or pose. I mean, you can see my belly sticking out in loads of poses. You see me sweaty and sticky and all sorts. So the point is just to give you a realistic like diary of my training to show you what it's like to try and train properly and then reach national level. So that's what happened there. Then moving on to the first accessory, I decided to do some heavy good mornings. I managed to get 2 sets of 5 at 180 kilos, which is the heaviest I've ever gone. I did manage to get 2 sets of 5 at 170 kilos before, and I was really happy with that. So to be able to do 2 sets of 5 at 180 was incredible, and it feels like I'm just bulletproofing my posterior chain. Squats, usually I fail them by caving forward, and that's how I failed last time, my 12-inch box squat. And the transition on the way up from being deep in that hole in the box, I fell forward. So this time, obviously, that didn't happen on 200 kilos, and that I largely attribute to if you can like good morning 180 kilos for reps. Like I just don't feel like I'm going to fall forward in a squat, and my all-time best squat with a barbell back squat is 220 kilos. There's a footage of it in a competition video I've got on the channel if you want to go and see that. I hit all of my lifetime PRs in that comp. So that's 220 kilos. Being able to good morning 180 kilos for reps, I'm just wanting to get that really high. It gives me so much confidence in my squats that even if the bar starts to pitch forward, I'm like strong enough literally to good morning it up. So they were great and very encouraging for my squat as well moving forward. So the next accessory here is single leg quad extensions. So I did these a couple of weeks ago and found that my right leg is much weaker than my left, and it was in this video as well. So I did 80 pound here for 2 sets of 8 per leg, and it's basically my right knee. If you followed the channel for a while, you know I've worked through a right knee injury. It's not really feeling much pain, but it is feeling very stiff. And I think what happens when you're injured is your brain often, to try and protect you, like cuts the neurological drive. It sort of tries to stop you from overusing your muscle when it feels like it's injured. So because I had that injury for ages, it actually impedes my ability to contract my right side, which is why it was harder on the right side than the left side still. So I just need to work on some more single leg work. Also, the last video, I think I said, like the caption said it was 80 pounds. That was a typing error. I noticed that after posting it, but it should have been 60 pounds. I literally couldn't move the 80 pounds a couple of weeks ago, so I was very happy to hit 80 pounds there for sets of 8 on each leg, including that right leg when it's feeling a bit more dodgy. So that was great, and hopefully going to help develop those quads and even out, and particularly get my right quad firing again and make everything feel good like it used to. So the next accessory here was calf raises. I decided to just do them off the floor. Often I used an elevated block because it helps to get a larger stretch on the calves, but because I was using really heavy weight at 180 kilos, I was just using the same bar as the good mornings because it's very practical. I decided to just go off the floor and focus on squeezing the calves, and I got 2 sets of 15. So this is like the heaviest I've been able to get 2 sets of 15 before, so I was happy with that, and the calves are definitely improving as a total. Also, I measured measured my calves for the first time in ages. I don't normally measure body parts, but it is a good way of tracking hypertrophy, having some actual data. And my calves are like 18 inches each. In fact, I think my left calf's slightly smaller, just under. But the last time I checked, they were at like 16 inches. Now, that was about 2 or 3 years ago, but the calves are definitely getting developed. So that's great as well. So moving on to the next accessory here, it was hip abductions. I decided to do it with, I think, the heaviest band I ever have. I've done this band before, but I haven't gone heavier than this. And I got sets of 10 on each leg, but I did 2 sets per side. So you do actually use both abductors when you are doing this exercise. It's not just the leg that has the band wrapped around it. The anchored foot, the supporting foot, you're also driving that away from you in the ground, so it uses the supporting legs abductor as well. So both sides hit both sides really. I just decided to do 2 sets per side, 4 sets total, because I felt I could, and they went really well. You saw the band like slamming back in when I was done as well. It is actually more band tension than it looks, and I try and use with the band just exploding my leg out, as you saw in those videos there. So the final accessory, I just had a miscellaneous lower exercise programmed, and I actually decided, because the session as a whole had been quite heavy for me, to instead just do some grip work. So I did some dead hangs, which I haven't done in like ages. I think I got just under a minute for 2 sets, and I actually did a thumbless grip, so just working on the fingers, sort of being able to crush round. It's still going to help translate into grip strength. This of course is for deadlift, so that's how it is a miscellaneous lower exercise, is because working on grip is going to help mainly the deadlifts. Like, it's never an issue for the upper body on bench, for instance, in powerlifting. Of course, it does help with back movements, but when I'm training my back, I just use grips. I think that's the smartest thing to do. I find that my back is like so much stronger than my grip that the grip is always going to be a limiting factor, even on like 1 set as well. So some people say, oh, you should try and at least grip it with your own hands. I just think work on what you're trying to work on. So here I'm doing dedicated grip work, and I train my back separately, and then I just use grips during that training. So this was really challenging, particularly this second set. My hand felt so wooden, and trying to stretch the fingers out afterwards and stop them being cupped was really hard. But hopefully this will translate into a stronger grip for deadlifts. So that is it for today's video. I hope you did in fact enjoy the video. If you did, drop it a like, drop it a comment, subscribe, click the bell, all of that good stuff, and I hope you have a great day.